Hi everyone, welcome to new video, and this case gonna be the second video of the JavaScript video series. The first one gonna be it was about variables, and the second one is gonna be about type of data, because inside JavaScript we have a lot of type of data. We have the strings, basically a text. We have the numbers, we have the arrays, objects, booleans, undefined, null, and none. And I'm gonna try to explain you and give you example the difference between these three things: undefined, null, and none. And we're gonna start now with the first one. I wanted to explain you before we start. Sorry, it's string, not string. String. It's basically very important. Maybe you are new in the JavaScript and you don't get the sense of the data, but when you start working with big projects or projects with data, basically logins, users, singing up, singing in, singing on. You're gonna understand it and you're gonna need it. For that reason, it's very important to understand this type of data because I don't want to say the main core of programming, but it's part of the programming language. Okay. Now we need to start with the first one. We're gonna leave the string for now. We're gonna start directly with the numbers. Okay. One example of the numbers is basically the age. Okay. We're gonna get a variable. Sorry, var age equal to, for example, 27. Okay. We close the age. This is called interior data. Okay. But imagine if you wanted to put dot 123. This is it's called basically in English something like floats data because have decimals. Okay, in JavaScript you don't need to put what we are working. In another languages you need to put the what type of data. For example, numbers. You need to put the numbers and if it's float or interior. In this case, we're gonna let it with this data. And I just wanted to explain you if you put the decimals with 1 to 3, you need to understand what the difference between decimals are not. Remember, decimals equal to a float. Okay? Okay? Now we're gonna delete this. Remember, with decimals it's float. Without the decimals it's interior. Okay? Now we're gonna go to the next one. The second one is gonna be the strings. Okay? The 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 variables video, I explain you how it's work the variables, okay? And we use the example of strings. Now we're gonna put example of strings. The example I put you in the last video, it was about the number, okay? Sorry, the name. We're gonna say the same name and double quotes. Remember, in strings we need to use double quotes. Yasin is the value of our property in this case. Now we're gonna put another thing, its last name, and we're gonna put its Haji, sorry, between double quotes, Haji. Now we're gonna, we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna show it, show you in the browser. We're gonna put right, and very interesting about strings, it's concatenation. What that mean? We can put text next text, okay? For example, I'm gonna put name. I'm gonna connect concatenation with false space, because if you don't put the false space, you're gonna have the name and the last name together without any space letters between the name and last name. And now we put last name. Now we save it and we go to, we're gonna delete this one because we didn't need it, and we're gonna go to our browser and we're gonna refresh, and here we go. We have Yasin Haji. Now we're gonna delete the concatenation of false space, and you're gonna see the difference. Okay, you see the space, we're gonna refresh, and here we go, we don't have space. For that reason we use the double quotes with space between each double quotes. Okay, now we're gonna delete this. The next one, the example gonna be about, for example, I'm gonna give you example about the var. I'm gonna put text, or I'm gonna put description, and they're gonna give example about double quotes. Okay, the example double quotes is basically I'm gonna put vi this video. It's about about JavaScript. Okay, if we have double quotes inside this variable, we don't kinda use double quotes for giving importance to JavaScript. You see it? We are have a problem. What we can do is putting single quotes. Sorry, um, like this. Okay, we're gonna put now it's work. Okay, never put the same amount of quotes with text and the description. Sorry, the variable. Okay, because it's gonna be work. I'm gonna give you example again. You see JavaScript. Now we're gonna fail. Our text gonna we're gonna go okay, and it's broke. Now our code of variable description it's broke. Okay, remember, never put inside the text quotes the same quote you are using to description of your variable. Okay, and now we I need to explain you another thing about the numbers. In the last video we talked about the calculation. Okay, we can say age, for example, or numbers, and we can do a calcul. For example, we can plus 15 plus 5, for example, and gonna be 20. We can do, for example, 19 for um, 5 times. Okay, we gonna save this, and we gonna go to our browser and numbers. Yeah, I need to put document rights, document document rights numbers, and I save it again. We go and we refresh, and here we go, we did the calcul. 19 uh, 5 times, it's basically 95. Okay, this is what I want to explain you about the numbers. Yeah, i I think I need to explain you one thing more about string, about variables, uh, text, let's say text, and we can explain you again this video. It's about JavaScript. Before I told you you don't can't use double quotes if you use outside double quotes, because you're gonna have a problem with our code. But if you put this inverted slash, something like that, before and after, our code gonna work. Okay, sorry, it's inside. Okay, now it's working. Now what we do, it's called escaping the escaping the word. Sorry, it was the name, escaping the word. Basically we are putting the same quotes inside a quote. Okay, now we're gonna delete this. I gonna no I gonna show you in document right. I wanted to show you, sorry, document document right, text. We're gonna save it, gonna go to the browser, and you can see right now. Now we are our escape word JavaScript, okay, between quotes. Basically, how we see it inside our front screen. Now we're gonna do what we did before without this escaping method. Sorry, and now we're gonna save it, and our code it's broke, okay. And now it's everything about strings. Now we're gonna go to array. Array basically it's a group of elements in the same value. Basically, we can give it one more elements than normal. What that mean? If we created, for example, a list of variable friends, or yeah, I'm gonna give you example friends because it's very common to use. For using the array, we need to put the brackets, okay? And now we gonna put a name of John, comma, we gonna put double quotes again, uh, Carlos, for example. We're gonna put the same John, okay? We don't have time to lose. And again, John 1, John 2, and John 3. Now we have a array, basically um, a set of elements or group of elements, okay? But how we can have access? In JavaScript, we can use what called cycles, for and while. But for now, we don't gonna explain you nothing about that because we're gonna a little bit more complicated. What we're gonna do is putting document right, and we're gonna have access with document right, okay? And inside, we need to put friends and the brackets. How we gonna have access? Putting the number of our list, okay? But you need to understand and know in JavaScript we don't start from one, we start from the zero. I mean zero have a value, okay? Now we're gonna change the name of our John. Gonna put 2 3 because I don't want to confuse you, and we're gonna put, for example, a zero. Now we save it and we go to browser. We refresh, and I don't have result because friend, oh, I put it bad, my bad. Friends, now we save it and we go back, and here we go, John 1. Okay, remember in JavaScript we start from the zero. If I put, for example, the number 2, sorry, number 2 is gonna be the third value because of course the zero it's a value. We'll save it and we're gonna get the John number 3, and here we go, John of number 3. One last thing, inside the array, we can put even the numbers and the booleans if it's true or false, okay? It's possible inside the array, okay? Now we're gonna change, I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna put again the example because it's more visual. Number age 19 without a quote, remember? And the strings is basically bar name between double quotes and Yasin, and we close it. Now the object. The object is basically the array, okay? It's very similar to the array. But the difference inside the array, I think, for me, is basically we are giving definition to our object. Imagine, for example, we're gonna give you a variable, we're gonna say my name, for example, for me, Yasin. And we gonna open a braces, okay? It's what we use inside the object. Now we're gonna open the braces. I'm gonna age For example, it's a object. We're gonna put 27. Another object gonna be, for example, ice. We're gonna do, yeah, I mean, the hair, sorry, hair color, and they're gonna put between double quotes black, for example. It's basically a list of objects of me. In this case, we can use it. Yeah, I mean, it's a characteristic of a definition of characters. We can say that, okay, in different values. In my case, my object have two values. My age is 27, and my color hair it's black. But we cannot put a lot, okay. For example, for our user, we can give it the name, the password, the check password, and the username display. Okay, I gonna explain you more later what is each thing. For now, we're gonna give you this sample example, and we're gonna still and yeah, I mean, we're gonna it's how it's work. Okay, it's basically characters of uh, our object. In the booleans, we have two things basically, a true and a false. Each one give information of things. Okay, if it's true or it's false. For example, we gonna use, for example, the true inside logging. If we have account of our user, have the password, the name, and display name, what we gonna give him, it's a basically a form when he wanted to have the access to his account, he need to put the name and the password. What we're gonna do is compare the name and the password he put it in form. We're gonna compare it what the data we have in our database. Basically, imagine I put Yasin, and the password it's Yasin. What we're gonna do is basically we're gonna give it information to database if this name and this password exists in our database. If it's true, we're gonna give him access to the account. If it's false, we're gonna put him, for example, a text with this data don't exist in our database, for example. Okay, we're gonna give him information, but for now, I don't gonna give it complicate you more. We're gonna give you just this example. We have two things: the true or false. It's basically compare. Okay, just remember the booleans is for comparing. Now the undefined. I mean, undefined is very simple to understand. It's basically a property without any value. Okay, we're gonna give you example. For example, bar. We're gonna put, for example, concorder. Okay, and we're gonna close it. We're gonna put document rights, document rights. Sorry, I need to close rights, and I'm gonna put concorder. Now we're gonna save it, and we're gonna go to the browser. We're gonna refresh, and don't have any data because we don't have access. Sorry, we don't have the value of our property. But if we go to the console of our um, browser, and we go to the console, and for example, we go to the console, and we put concorder, and we write here concorder. You can see concorder. We can see below the concorder. We can see the reference of error is not defined. We're gonna press, and here we go. Our property don't have value. It's basically it's not defined. Now we're gonna go back to our browser and we're gonna go to the null. Basically it's if we wanted to delete the value of our property. We're gonna create variable with property number, for example, and we're gonna give it a number 27, my age. Okay, if I wanna to delete the number, I don't can delete it. I cannot change. Yeah, I can, for example, put 28. But if I wanna is deleting, what I can do is called nulling the property. Sorry, the property and the value of the property, of course. What we're gonna do is put in null, and now it's deleted. It's basically we don't give it any value. It's that you can understand deleting it or don't giving. We can say we can say removing the value. Okay. Remember, the null is removing the value. With in define, it's basically we don't give a value like here to our property. For example, if our property is concorder and we give him the value, it's for example YouTube, we are giving him a property. Now it's defined, but if we delete the value of YouTube, now it's undefined. Now we're gonna go with none. None basically it's non-logical answer. Sorry, the question, and the answer gonna be none. Okay. For example, bar text. We wanted to work with text now. We gonna say here text is none. Now we're gonna close it. Sorry, and we gonna put document right. Now we gonna, for example, put text value. Sorry, the property text, and we wanted to multiply twice. Okay, I'm gonna go twice. It's not make any sense. Why we wanted to multiply text? I mean, it's not a number. It's a text. You don't can multiply twice a text. Now we're gonna go to our browser and see the. We save it and we go to browser. We refresh. We go to the inspection of elements and we're gonna put text. We're gonna change text one, okay, because we don't want to confuse the browser, and we start again. And we're gonna put text one, okay. Here we have, this is not defined because we are inside the Firefox, okay. But if you are inside the Chrome, Google Chrome, you're gonna see a none, okay. We're gonna go back again and we're gonna finish this video for now, okay. Remember, strings basically it's concatenation of text, okay. It's basically a text. Numbers, it's value with numbers, of course. For example, the age, the height, the phone number. For example, if you're gonna work with the login, you can log in with your phone number. The array basically it's concatenation of words, okay. We can concatenate to different numbers, different days of weeks, months of years, and we can have the access with to each one element of our array using the numbers. But remember, inside the JavaScript we start from the zero. The object basically it's a couple of characters of our object. For example, in my case I am Yasin, my age is 27 and my hair color is black. The booleans have true or false basically give us compare. Basically, yeah, I mean booleans we can say it's compare between each values. For example, if someone wanted to log in our base in our website, we're gonna compare if we have that data inside database. On define it, basically, we don't give it a value to property. For example, this is my property and it's Concord. We don't go and give him. Um, Now we're gonna see if it's work. My last. Now we're gonna leave it like this. Okay, remember, null is basically we're removing the value, and in none is non-logical question. And yeah, we're gonna delete this one. And remember, the next video gonna be about the arrays. Okay, thank you, and you see in the next video.